three main things to do in manifesting. Number one, we have to rewrite dumb shit that our brain says that locks us into certain energies. We have to then also be able to garner the energy of the future, right? You hear people say, oh, you need to know what you want, and then you have to believe it. Well, that's bullshit. Nobody believes it. If they believed it, they would have it. And so you can't just say, believe it. What we need to do is feel it. So thinking about what is it that we want and how would that feel, that is our main lever. And then being in the receiving mode. So the receiving mode is the allowing mode. The receiving mode, you hear people like, everyone says it a little different. Like, obviously I'm like a hardcore Abraham Hicks fan. So that's like the allowing. What you hear over there is allowing. What you have to allow, be in the receiving mode. You have to allow it. It was so funny. I heard it. I don't know if I read it or saw it somewhere, but somebody, I think I was Googling something and I came across somebody being like, yeah, this is how you manifest. Step one, you ask. Step two, it's given. Step three, you need to allow it. And I thought to myself, wow, that is like the least helpful thing anybody could possibly say to anybody. I mean, technically, yes, but 1 and 2, ask, and then it's vibrationally available. That's on autopilot. And so then the question is how do we allow it? How do you allow it? So we know what we just reviewed. What keeps us from allowing it is thoughts in opposition to it. And so that's why we start identifying what thoughts do we have, and we start shifting those. And then we can and then speeding it up is like the future casting, which is being like, oh, let me kind of like play around here. Let me think about, oh, what is it that I want? But then like, how would that feel? How would that feel? But then in addition, the receiving mode, you can think of it as being like really chill. And so sometimes we come in, because I focus in this program pretty hardcore on rewriting and future casting, because that is very much, in my experience, what I've done, what I have put my focus on. But I realized that I do a lot of the receiving mode, but I was calling it something different. I was calling it self-care. So Rebecca, you haven't gone through the modules yet, so you haven't really kind of seen how I break it up. But in the modules, I'm more like, hey, listen, there's this self-care bucket. And that's kind of what I've suggested. Hey, if you can't rewrite and if you can't future cast because you're in a dip or something, then you can do self-care. But then I would say, but I like to do self-care every day. Why wouldn't I want a cup of tea? Why wouldn't I want to treat myself to some deep breathing? So then what I kind of put together a couple of blocks and realized, oh, it's a little bit more than self-care. This bucket of activity is, yes, self-care, but there's also an opportunity to actively relax, actively start calming our nervous system, actively be in the receiving mode. And it's really funny because a while ago I heard Abraham say something like, you just have to work on being in the allowing mode, right? So it kind of sounds like the allowing mode shouldn't take work. Wrong. It does. It definitely, when we've spent years being all revved up about this and that, and been like really intense about this and anxious about this, and even if we were in a good mood, trying really hard over here, we have to teach ourselves to come back down, come back down. That's why you hear people will say like, oh, I was working on a project all night, couldn't figure it out. I went to bed and then figured it out 10 minutes in the first 10 minutes of their work in the morning. So we see this, or that's why we get all that inspiration when we're on vacation, or when we go to a new coffee shop with a fresh journal, it just starts pouring through, or we sit down and meditate, and then we just get slammed with all these good ideas. So I want to kind of put it out there and just to kind of to remind you guys that the receiving mode is the allowing mode, is beautiful to work on. This can be done in the form of breathing, sitting, listening to classical music, anything that helps you chill a little bit. Because if you're not chilling, you're trying. It's like you're chilling or trying. You know how we talk about you're either like watching or waiting, and you can't really do both at the same time. You're either waiting for something because it's not there, or you're watching it come because you're appreciating all the tiny little things. It's kind of like we're like chilling or trying. And I personally go in between this all the time. I don't think there's a perfect a scenario where you're just totally chilling because you're manifesting, you're doing new things at the same time. So there's no expectation here that you just like go through your day like, and then everything happens. It's not like that. But it is like, hey, while we're going through our day, is there an undercurrent of like trying to get it done, trying to like get it right. I realized in my own head, I had language around getting it right. And I got to get this right. Oh, I got to get this right. And that is never productive. So realizing, oh, let me go on vacation from trying. Let me take a break from trying. Let me just also work on the nervous system a little bit, which is bringing down the body from being so aware.